How would you feel about playing a tragic horror tabletop role-playing game where at the end of the session, everyone's character dies? Because if that sounds interesting, I think you're gonna love 10 Candles. Hello, my name is Brian, and this is Games I Want to Play That Are Not D&D, and in this episode I'm talking about 10 Candles by Stephen Dewey, and this is one of my all-time favorites. It is a tragic horror game that you play by the light of 10 tea candles. So literally, you're playing in the dark and you have 10 tea candles set up that is all the light that is illuminating the space. And I just want to tell you a few things about this game that I think will get you excited about it, because at the start of the game, you are building characters based on traits, positive and negative, given to you by the players to your left and right. And these are traits that you can burn throughout the game to be able to re-roll various dice pools. But the first thing you do in this game, before you have even started that first scene, is every character records a voice note. These are usually like, if you find me, here's what happened, or voice notes to family members of the character. And it's the very beginning of the game. You haven't even gotten into a scene, and oftentimes they're a little awkward, they're a little funnier than the tone of the game maybe suggests. But as the game goes on, you are slowly extinguishing candles by failing at dice pool rolls, and throughout, the GM is gaining more and more control as your dice pool begins to dwindle as the GM's dice pool gets bigger and bigger. You are burning your traits, literally taking pieces of your character, setting them on fire, and putting them away so that you have one more chance to win, even though you know this game ends with every character's death. And at the end of the game, the last thing you do after all the candles are extinguished, after all the characters are dead, you replay those voice notes. And I cannot tell you how many times it's happened that the inconsequential thing that was said, the minor character choice, the funny joke that someone did at the very beginning of the game becomes the most poignant part of the entire session when you play it in the dark as a voice note, remembering where you were just an hour or 2 hours before. What's really interesting about this game is that there's a split in the player's mind, because the players all know that their characters will die. There is no surviving 10 candles. But the characters don't know that. The whole game is about living in that hope and trying to hold on to hope in the absolute darkest moments. And if that's something you think would be interesting, and I promise you, you will have an impactful experience playing this game, there's really no game I could recommend more highly than 10 Candles.